good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I am going to step outside of my purpose recognition comfort zone and talk about winning in relationships, whether they be personal or professional. Winning in relationships, how to win in relationships, whether it be personal or whether it be professional. I feel like I'm qualified to do so because so much of my purpose recognition work requires this one skill. It requires this one skill that enables me to have conversations with complete strangers that tell me about all their pain, all their hurt, all their missteps, so on and so forth, as a means to discover their purpose, right? And the one thing that I am doing that is the most effective tool or is the most effective in terms of getting people, making connections with people is I see people's conversation from beginning to end. I see people's conversation from start to finish, right? I want you to start your conversation and I want to see where it ends, right? I've been having some amazing conversations as of late, amazing conversations with some amazing people. And I've seen the value and the power of just listening to somebody's story. Don't interrupt them. Just let them get everything out. Even if you're not getting a very fluid story, but you're getting a stream of consciousness. Letting them get that out has an incredible impact on the relationship and what you can get out of that relationship, as you move forward. But I also see how it works the other way, right? So you hanging around your friends, right? And your friends have children, right? So here you are with adults and you're having this really, really good conversation, great dialogue, maybe you're talking about just something that's got some depth to it, right? Which we all want, that deep and rich conversation. So we finally get to that point where we can talk about something that's not surface level. Somebody's 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old comes up, right? And they just give them all their attention, which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, right? You should also always give your attention to your loved ones, right? And your kids and all of that. But sometimes, the kids, they be on that buzz, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like get this over with, and then so we can get back to the conversation. But what I would notice is there was a reaction with the person who was telling the story. They were interrupted by the little kid, and then that person who allowed for the conversation to be interrupted, they'll just start a new conversation. And I would watch the person who got their story interrupted. They would be absolutely defeated. You would tell they want to continue their conversation because they finally got to some place where they want to share. They want to be transparent. They want to be vulnerable. They wanted to give their opinion. Maybe they've been really quiet this whole conversation. They really want to share, and then somebody interrupts them, and then the other person doesn't have enough wherewithal to say, okay, now where did you start off from? Right? Okay, now you were talking. What were you saying? And that person just looks defeated. And now they don't give them that opportunity to get back into that conversation, or maybe they feel funny about bringing the conversation back to where it was, even though we started something new, right? On the flip side of things, I see it happen the other way. And shout out to my man Blake. Blake had brought his girlfriend, who is now his fiance, to come hang out with me in Ann Arbor, and so it was about 5 of us. And so Blake, who rode up with his girlfriend, right, who's been talking to his girlfriend for a number of months, right, and probably knows a fair amount about her, right? And so she was struggling with her job, and so we were having a conversation about why she's struggling with her job. And I had another friend who began to kind of interrupt, or he was going to take the conversation a different way. And my man Blake said, no, to his friend. He was like, no, I really want to hear what she has to say. Now here's the thing. Here's his girlfriend that he's been hanging out with. He drove up from Illinois to Ann Arbor, or to Michigan, to visit us, right? So they had plenty of time to talk. I would assume that he already knew why she was struggling with her job. But even in that moment, he was willing to stop somebody else and basically see her story all the way through by making sure that person stops talking so that I can hear what you have to say. When I tell you, this girl looked at him like whatever you need tonight is going down, you know what I'm saying? But it was because he was willing to see her conversation all the way through, even though he probably already knew the answer. He just wanted to hear her talk and hear her opinion and defend her time or her opportunity within the conversation. So all I'm saying is, if you really want to win people over. If you really want to win people over, what better way to win people over than to just defend or see their conversation through? So if you're in sales and you're selling, I don't know, life insurance, whatever, but somehow you end up talking about your kids going to school, just see the conversation through. Let them finish their conversation and make sure that they get that story out. Or maybe if you're trying to date, if you're dating and you really want to attract someone and you want to date someone, so if you can get them to talk, if you can get them to open up and they got conversations and they have stories, listen to that story and see it through, and don't let anybody interrupt that story. Or if somebody does interrupt the story, make sure you come back to that story. Okay, now what were you saying? Because it's saying really, really fascinating, right? I really want to hear the rest of it. That has an incredible impact on relationship building and the amount of how good you can make somebody feel, the amount of how you can make somebody else feel valued, make their time, make sure that they feel valued for their time, their effort, their storytelling, their opinion, their ideas, and so on and so forth, simply by seeing their story all the way through. I hope that makes sense. Marv Fox Jr. I help highly ambitious and courageous people discover their purpose with 2 simple questions. See somebody else's story through and watch the magic take place. Marv Fox Jr.